Let's talk some real junk, man. Let's talk some real stuff, all right? Have you ever noticed that when you put in less effort into a situation, when you desire something less, it's like it comes to you a lot easier. It comes to you with less resistance. It's like it's like super effortless. Like the universe makes it so easy for you to get the situation into your life. Whenever you stop projecting your want, your desire onto whatever's going, because the more want and desire that you have for something, the more needy that you're going to act in your day-to-day life towards this thing. For instance, a relationship, or even just your sexual desires. You want to have sex with more women. You'll start cold DMing all these girls. You'll go on Instagram or all these dating apps. You'll start swiping. You'll start DMing them. You know, hey, what's up? You want to go on dates, or you're trying to get them over your dorm or your house or whatever. And you just, your energy, you just come off with this desperate need, and it seems like the more you try to get these people to act in a certain way that you want, or to get them to give you the outcome that you really want, the more that they leave you undelivered, the more that they leave you on red, the more that they sense that you're not really used to these situations of being with women, of like you're not really used to dating women, or at least dating the women that are high caliber. You're not really used to having girls in your life, which is why you're coming off with this desperate energy. Especially when you just want to have sex with a girl, which it's really fleeting. You know what I'm saying? It's sensory pleasure, and it really doesn't mean nothing, but most people aren't to that point where they can comfortably feel that way about women. So they're still in the stage of, I need to have sex with as many women as I can. But when they approach having sex with women, they come off with this desperate energy of, oh, when can we fuck? When can we hang out? When can I see you? When's the next time we can hang out? And I've went through the same thing, which is why I can speak on a topic like this. It never works, or the woman can sense that that's all you want, and so they'll just like stall, or they'll come up with excuses on why you can't hang out, or they just they'll have a boyfriend, or the situation won't work out. The more desperate you approach the situation. But what's funny is when you let go, and you may get pissed off at the fact that women aren't, doing what you want them to do. They're not dating you. They're not reciprocating to you. They're not treating you as maybe the other alpha males, as cringy as that sounds. They're not treating you as good as the other high value men. So you get mad and you're like, man, fuck women, man. I don't care about that. And so you decide to just focus on yourself. You decide to focus on yourself, go to the gym. You start working on your skincare. You start working on your religion. You're growing closer to God. Maybe you start studying more. You just start working on yourself. You start becoming a better version of yourself. And as a byproduct, you may see a woman in the gym or a woman down the street that you find attractive. And so you decide to approach them. And meanwhile, you haven't thought about women in weeks, or maybe a month or months. And you approach this girl and she's everything you want. She's attractive. She's beautiful. She wants you. She reciprocates your love. Or maybe there's a situation where a woman may even approach you. Like you've worked on yourself to a point where a woman approaches you, or your friend comes to you and tells you like, hey, there's this girl that likes you, or something like that. Like the universe just puts you in this situation of giving you the result, the outcome that your mind originally was so desperate for. And as soon as energetically the mind let go of wanting that situation to be a certain way, that's when the universe brought it to you. I can see this also in sports. In sports, I've seen that, and just in my personal experience with sports, when I would play basketball, before I would get into a game, I would work super hard. I would, put in all the work. I would get all my shots up. I'd play basketball, so I'd do all the right things. I'd have my routine. But as soon as I stepped on the court, I was like a nervous wreck. I would be distant from the ball. I wouldn't like be aggressive. I'd be very passive. I wouldn't try and go get the ball and score and show the work that I had put in so far to that point. And I noticed a pattern with the games where I would play like that and the games where I wouldn't play like that. And the games where I would play super nervous, the night before the game or just like before the game, I would be so heavy in thought about like, okay, I'm going to do this move and I'm going to do this move and I'm going to have this moment and I'm going to dunk this time and this is going to happen and the crowd's going to cheer for me this way. And I'll be so focused and so determined to make the game go a certain way that once I got into the game, it wouldn't happen that way. Let's say the least. And it would lead to regret. It would lead to disappointment. It would lead to my expectations not being met. Or maybe the coach wouldn't put me in a position where those things would happen. Desire leads to disappointment. But it's funny when we get out of these positions where we're in like these professional atmosphere of like playing sports, and we go to like our local rec center, we go to like the gym, we're the most confident people. We're like the best players in the city. It's funny once we get out of like away from the crowd, away from our coaches, we get to playing in the rec, and now we're just these confident basketball players. Why is that? It's because when we get to like our rec center, playing in the gym, playing with our friends, and we're super good, we're super confident, we don't feel this pressure to be better. We don't have this pressure to make anyone believe that we're better than maybe their preconceived idea of us was. We don't have this idea of trying to prove something to them. And so we just play very carefree. We get into this flow state, which only happens when you're in the present moment. But when you're in this deep desire of desperate need and want of things to be a different way, you're lost in thought. You're thinking about the past of, I don't want this situation to happen again. And you're deep in thought about the future that hasn't happened yet. So you're thinking like, I want this to happen super bad. And so you end up pushing that future situation away. Or your mind, at least your mind does. You identify with your mind. This can happen with social situations, making friends. Like the harder I would be in social situations in high school. And like I would be like the comedian. I wouldn't be a class clown, but I'm funny, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a big part of social skills. But I found that the harder I would try and make people laugh, the less my jokes would hit. Like people wouldn't be laughing at my jokes, or they wouldn't take me as serious, or they wouldn't respect me as much. The more I would try and impress these people with trying to make them laugh, even with women, like the more I would try and make them laugh. But the more detached I am from a situation, it's like the easier it is to make people laugh, the easier it is to get people to listen to me and respect me. It's like I get into a social flow state way easier rather than I'm always in my head, because as soon as I make a joke and someone doesn't laugh, I'm deep in my head thinking like, oh God, was that corny? Was that cringy? Great, now everything's awkward. Now they're probably thinking that I'm a loser. Now they're not going to accept me, right? And all that childhood trauma of loneliness starts to come out, of you not being accepted or me not being accepted. But when I let go of those outcomes, it's like I'm the life of the party, or like I'm just the best. I'm the most social butterfly in the building. Like I'm just the most social person in the building, and it just flows so naturally. It can happen with money too. I've had plenty of situations where I'm a little low on change. You know, your boy may have been struggling, and out of nowhere, I get this idea of like, okay, I'll start training people in basketball. And all of a sudden, all these clients start coming in. I'm like, okay, that they want to like learn how to become as good at basketball as I was, or I am. So they give me money to teach them for like an hour on what I know, or like at least make them better. And so I make money from that, or I get a new job opportunity. Like the universe is like taking care of me. And that's what you have to realize, is that the universe is always taking care of you. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason. Everything that you're going through is happening for a reason. The trials and tribulations of the journey that you asked for, if you want to become special, if you want to become big in this world, you are going to have to struggle. Struggle is a part of the process. If you're afraid of the struggle, it's not meant for you. That journey is not meant for you. When you start going through the trials and tribulations, understand that this is just a part of the process. And you deal with those trials and tribulations now. Don't think about the future of when, oh my God, I wish it would be over. Or think about the past of things that you could have done differently. Just be here now. The universe will always take care of you. Doesn't it always? But because these trials are happening, because these negative experiences are happening in your life, you get so fixated on, I want it to be different. And so your relationship with the universe or God or whatever you believe in, it fiddles away, or like it becomes worse. Because you believe that God is against you. You believe that God is punishing you, or some kind of karma is happening to you because of something you may have done. And that's not the case. You asked for a journey, or maybe you didn't ask for a journey, but God has something planned for you. You just have to allow it to take its course. You just have to allow things to play out and do whatever you can to improve your life, to improve yourself, to get to where you're trying to go quicker. But don't try and rush it. I say get to where you're trying to go quicker, but don't rush it. I'm just saying that the more you do the right things, like meditate, journal, taking time away from your phone, taking time from social media, eating the right things, going to the gym, this will speed up the process. Being disciplined in something like recording videos. Maybe you want to be a content creator. It'll help you get to the goal faster. But you don't get to the goal by resisting what's happening right now. And all those good habits that I just named, you do all those happens now. All those things happen right now. That's why you have to get good at meditation, so you can become better at getting out of your thought and start being here now. And so you will get better at getting into these flow states of life. Because I tell you, when you're in these flow states of life, whether in a sport, whether in social skills, whether in relationships, it feels so fucking good. It feels so good to be in these flow states. Like, it's funny. It's not like a super exotic, like life-changing experience. It's just like, it's not bad. I mean, you could consider it good, but it's not bad. It just is. And you have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. If you like this type of content, subscribe for more. We growing. We going into the new year. I'll probably post a couple more videos before the new year end, but like I say, Happy New Year's. We trying to get to 700 before the end of January, you know what I'm saying? Or like at least in the next couple months, I'm getting real more consistent. I'm gonna get a little more consistent with posting. I know I've been away for 3 days, life. But that's all I got to say, man. Comment where you're on your self-improvement journey. Comment if this video helped. Like this video. Get the YouTube algorithm rolling so we can get this video out to more people. And that's all I got to say, man. We growing. We moving. And we locked in. Love it. Mwah.